What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to get you a Bitcoin update. I didn't get you one yesterday, and that is on me, but there were some really obvious trades. We took if you were in the group, I was looking for the long off the previous day value area low. Didn't close below the VWAP, which I don't have present there. But we were looking at this in the last video. This was your little box of goodness for our target. You can see that we had it nice and lined up there. And then this was that daily candle. So didn't get you guys a video yesterday. I did host a 2-hour live stream with everyone in the group. So that was good. Just kind of answered some basic questions. Talked a couple guys through some trades. I know that Goat Ninja was in there and he held his trade. He was thinking about closing it and just kind of talked him through it and said, I would hold on to it. I think that, if we regain this level, we got all-time highs coming and here's your targets basically. And good for him. He held all the way through. So, yeah, I mean, it's going really well. This was the previous day range and we are going to take a look at it. I will talk a little bit more like just how my mindset is in this region right now. Looking at this, we also hit the 1414 extension pretty much to the T of our trend-based pull from a local standpoint. But I do want to talk to you guys about some macro events that are coming up. So this is your macro Fibonacci time. So you can see how important this is if you're new to the channel. You're probably not familiar with this tool or this type of analysis, but we use Fibonacci to find pivot points in the market. And so this was our first macro pivot here at the 3K low. This is your .25 at the China pump here, 40% in a day, a little over actually. And this was your macro breakout from this consolidation that actually led to this move, which you can see is accelerating. And you can see that from the daily very easily. We're actually going to talk about this. These ranges are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and you can see that right here. I mean, it's not hard to do. This was your last macro range right here to really right there. You had 28 bars, right? And then this was a small range, and it's only like 6 bars. And then this is a really small range. It's only like 2 or 3 bars. You see what I mean? Like price is accelerating to the upside. That's the point I'm making is we are looking for a range that may never come, because if this is a parabolic move, I know we keep using the term blow off top. When is it coming? Everybody's talking about $100,000 Bitcoin. We are going to talk about some macro areas today that we've been discussing before, but now we're looking at it from the aspect of, okay, we've looked at these pivot points in time, but we've got a macro Fibonacci pivot point coming up tomorrow on the 9th, and we have some local Fibonacci time lining up with that as well. And we have price accelerating. And so when price accelerates like that, what do you get? You get moves like this. This is the type of move that you get. And so the issue that you have, though, is that if we look at our oscillators, we're really not showing any bearish divergence on like the daily, which is a pretty important time frame. We had a little bit on the 4-hour, which did equate to a pullback, but nothing crazy. We showed you the previous day value area low, and it pulled back to the, I believe the R2, yearly R2. So also another area we've been watching. So this is our current chart on the Bitcoin. This is a pitchfork that I reverse pulled. I actually showed him how I pulled this yesterday in that live stream. I didn't record it. I need to start recording those. But these are kind of just, that one was kind of impromptu, but I do plan to do 2 a week with the people that will be in the course, and then anyone that's in the free side of things, they will get 1 a week. It'll be less structured. It's not going to really be designed to cover any specific topics, but it will be available to everyone, and it'll be kind of like a get-together and meet and greet. That way people, if they want to join in and ask any questions or just chit-chat, we can do that. And yeah, so this is our macro pitchfork slash channel that I have on good old BitMexico, an exchange I've never traded on. And you can see we are pushing into our next targets. It was this 43,438, and I like this 1414 because it lines up super nice with another area. And so this is just a log scale Fibonacci pull, and you can see that the coordinates are from the previous all-time high to the previous cycle low. All right, so And then I did want to look at, man, I wanted to look at some fibs, I think. Is this the one I'm looking for? These aren't the droids you're looking for. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Let's double check. I think that, yeah, it's about 42.5 is your trend base there. This is not the extensions that I'm looking for here. I think that this one is. If I remember correctly, this is the one. Yeah, this is the one I want. So you can see that we have some resistance coming in here. We've got two Fibonacci pools, the 3618 and the 2 spot. So right around 42,300, you do have some resistance. These are fibs that I went over with you guys back in July, actually. There's a video on July 28th where I cover this. This is be a target. And so you can see that this 1618 actually got smashed into, and so we got our 17% pullback. And one thing I did discuss with them is, you know, what it took to get this 17% pullback. That was about $150 million market sell that started that move. And other people jumped on board. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because everyone's looking for these massive macro pullbacks, but I'm not seeing anything in the indicators really or in market structure just yet to say that we've reached that blow off top. Now, when we do, we'll know. And I think that, you know, that could come at 50K potentially, because that's just a nice number. You know, I mean, it's one of those where it's obviously a macro resistance, and I'll show you why on a Fibonacci channel that I built months ago as well, as have been shilling to you guys in videos. But people like Michael Saylor that are buying $400 million worth of Bitcoin, or Paul Tudor Jones or Grayscales, you know, buying these hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. These guys are not buying it to flip it. They're not buying it to sell it from, you know, he didn't buy an extra $600 million worth of Bitcoin at 21.9 to sell it at $36,000. They're buying it to hold on their balance sheet for more than a year, for one thing, because they're looking at it from a tax standpoint, but they're also hiding their funds in there because it's a means of hedge against inflation, and, you know, using it for tax purposes instead of just leaving it in fiat and letting it not really do anything for them. So that's the mindset that these guys have. So when it comes down to retail traders and will we have smaller pullbacks in this run, honestly, it could. This could equate to smaller pullbacks in this run. Just seeing that, because it takes a lot more collective movement from the market to get these large scale pullbacks. I mean, $150 million Bitcoin sell only equated to a 17% move, and I think a few other people jumped in on it, but larger sells came in after that too, so I'm sure that number was higher. I'd have to go back and count through the order book, but just one of those things where, yeah, I mean, that's just the point I'm making, is this thing can get pretty out of hand. Like, how out of hand are we talking? Well, I mean, the 2618 right here alone is at $54,000. Where's the 4236? You guys know that I like that extension. I've been talking to you guys about that since parabolic curves. You know, yeah, it's coming in at about $50,000. So that's a big area of interest. You get through 42K. You guys know that I was targeting 46 next, but then we are looking at 49,000, I think. And so let's look at that on Bitstamp just real fast here. Make sure we're covering that before we jump into the low time frame stuff too much, and I'll cover the trades that we had. So this is our, if you're unfamiliar, this is my macro log scale Fibonacci channel, very well respected, and what we're looking for here is this golden pocket, the 618, 66, and 702. You can see how well respected it is. You tap the 618, big sell-off, you know, so where is that coming in at? You guys know that our next target on our channel here is the 43,438. If we go to this, our next target is 44,402. Now, there is some resistance in that 42K range, so we're not trying to overlook it, but at the same time, you know, I am looking up to the next fib extension, and I am looking for this golden pocket to potentially be tapped, and I think it would be great that it's being tapped on the exact 1-to-1 of our macro cycle highs here from the previous accumulation. So that is a very interesting concept to me. And then you've got your lows here. We're also tracking lows. So I want to see if the symmetry and time portion of Bitcoin that has been so well for it in the past will continue to carry on even with new institutional money coming in. So we are in that one-to-one week. You guys know that January 9th is obviously important. So we've been looking for January 4th, January 9th, and January 11th. And so this is going to be a big day tomorrow, we think. We'll see. It's at least a pivot point. But again, back to this here. The like 43,000 area is going to be of interest, and then you've got 50,000 at the next golden fib, and then if we go all the way to the edge, you're looking at like 58,000 up to this like 67 to $68,000 region. Where does that line up on this chart? The golden pocket. So that would be, you get through $50,000. I think that I'm just going to go ahead and give it an extension to 63 to 68,000. It's the next area of interest is going to be an additional $13,000 to $18,000. But yeah, so what we're doing right now is looking on the low time frames to see if we can find divergences. You can see that it is trying to back test and hold this 1382. So you want to see that hold. Otherwise, we could get a little bit more of a range, which we haven't really seen since moving up here. And if we go to Bybit on the low time frames, we can take a look at that and kind of start analyzing it. So let's get over there, take a peek. We'll go down to the hourly here, and I've got some pivots up that I want to get rid of. No, I'll leave them up. They're fine. All right, so what I have up here is this is your January volume range. And so this is from January 1 to the current price action. All right, so this is your range based on volume. This is your point of control. It's really not all that relevant. You can see that we almost back tested the highs here pretty perfectly, and if we pull up our yearly pivots, they were there as well. So getting long off of this shouldn't have been difficult for anyone. The yearly R2 was here. And you basically swung fill this low here on a low time frame. If you were watching it, you could have played that move, and then off you go. And then from there, let's go down to the 15-minute, and we'll get rid of these volume ranges and look at the previous day stuff. You can see that on the previous day here, you basically fell out of the previous day value area low, worked your way back in, and then just stair-stepped your way up, and very nicely on the fib time as well. The 618 caught the break. So I was really happy with that. I don't know that I need that fib time anymore. Well, so ironically, the 786 here comes in with a Fibonacci based time that I had pulled through. So this is a trend based Fibonacci time in white, and then the yellow is going to be a one-to-one fib time from a particular impulse that I was looking for, giving me this little window right here of goodness, so to speak, for January 9th, which you guys know is a really big day. So I'll be watching this little window of price here from looks like 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. for me. So that's what I'm looking at. But that's neither here nor there. So on the previous day price, guys, this is your little window I said I'd go over on the low time frames with you regarding the macro Fibonacci time. So we won't go back and spend much time on that because it is all speculation, and at the end of the day what we do care about are the charts, right? So we'll get rid of that, and what you can see here is you had a really nice easy trade here. You could have scalped this short into the previous day value area low and gotten long here, and then watch the higher lows and the reclamation of the daily VWAP. And basically that's how you would have traded it. Very simple. I mean, very technical. You could have longed the S1, you could have longed the macro R2, whatever you felt the need to do. I know some guys longed the S1, which it did dip down below that. It dipped down about $500, but in reality, that $500 only equates to about 1%. So depending on where you had your stop loss and your invalidation, that may have been well within your trade setup. You know, I mean, these numbers get pretty insane when you're up here. So $300-$400 isn't as much as you think it is. But had you taken this trade just from the previous day value area low here, you would be sitting in pretty decent profit. That was one thing that we walked the gentleman Goat Ginge through on the live stream a little bit was just, hey, if it comes down to this level, this isn't anything bad. You haven't broken market structure. You might consider holding on to that trade. And from there, you get an 11% move to the upside, and it may have more to go as it's trying to flip this R1, not only the R1, but you've got the 1382 here at 40,900 as well. So, yeah, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for continuation up. If we pull our other pivots, do we have any confirmation with that 43.5 area? We do. We've got about 43K here on the R2, and then the R3 coming in at like 45 and some change, and then 46 up here at the yearly R3, which is the median of our golden pocket on the Fibonacci channel we just looked at. So Bitcoin is doing just fine. As far as coming back down, let's look at downside and support. I'm going to get rid of this fib retracement. I no longer need that. Your daily pivot here is going to be important. Obviously, it would also be coinciding with being above the VWAP. You want to stay above the VWAP if we're going to be going to the upside here. I don't think this fib channel, this fib channel is still getting things pretty well. You can see we were just riding the golden pocket for a little bit here. Came down to the lows of it and now have broken our way back up, getting stopped by the, what is that, the what, .25? Yeah, .25, finding support on the 382. So this thing's still being respected really well. Happy to see that's still useful for me. I got a lot of different tools on here, so it's one of those things where sometimes we look at them, sometimes we don't. It depends on if we need them. So what we're going to look at is volume ranges. I'm going to get rid of, I'll leave the VWAP up. What I want to do is adjust my VWAP a little bit. I don't need the yearly, quarterly, monthly, and weekly right now. I just need this one line. So we'll keep that nice and clean for you. And what we're going to look at is the January volume range, because this is our monthly volume, right? So this is from January 1st when it opened to now. You can see that Bitcoin has been in trend mode, supporting the idea that we're having shorter and shorter ranges. So this range looks like it's got quite a bit of range to it, but we're also on the 15-minute time frame. If you zoom out a little bit, even going to an hourly, it starts to shorten up. Go to a 4-hour, and then look at this. It's just like a little flag. So being in on the lower time frames, if you're trying to find entry right now or looking for a position on Bitcoin or a trade setup, you're going to have to probably zoom in a little bit. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't zoom out and look at your high time frame stuff here. Look at these macro areas. It just means that zooming in is probably going to be the best way to do it. Now, going to the downside, I can see that my point of control is coming in right here for the overall month at 33,919. So I would really want to see that hold as my monthly POC at about 34K. Let's see if ExoCharts supports that. Yeah, ExoCharts shows your monthly POC at 33,997.50 on Bybit, so we know that this is accurate. And so I would really want to see this level hold. Should there be a pullback, like a catastrophic sell-off, this is the range I want to see hold. I don't want to see this 34K level lost. I don't know if we have any yearly pivots that line up there or not. Doesn't look like I do. These on Fibonacci. I do prefer... No, I don't. I don't prefer any of this. Yeah, I mean, I want to see this level hold. I don't want to really necessarily lose 34K. You know, you've got support here at about 34.5. I would say that's probably a good area to look to. So from a monthly standpoint, if Bitcoin did have a large pullback here, everybody keeps saying, where would I want to see hold? I would want to see $34,000 hold. After that, I'd be looking down to this R1 here on the yearly at 30,500. That'd be my next big area of interest. I'd want to see that hold, with a high value node coming in here just under 30K. You can see that we've come into contact with this thing before. So that's what I'd be interested in. And if we look a little more locally, obviously you can pull the daily range if you want, if you're just looking for day trades. But for me, I've actually been pulling the weekly range here. So start of the week to now, and then I do keep track of like the previous week right here. You can see, and they're doing a really nice clean stack now that we're getting more information. You can see how nice these things do stack. This lining up really nice with that weekly value area, or that monthly value area low we were talking about. That's actually your previous week point of control. So getting a little confluence there, but more locally from a pullback. Let's say we don't get that large scale pullback to like 34,000 that we were just kind of talking about, or 34.5. Your current weekly point of control is coming in at about 38,500. Also coming in at your daily pivot, and you've got the daily VWAP kind of floating in that area. So that would be kind of my next big area of interest, at least initially, would be holding 38,005 to 38,600. You know, fib wise, it should be lining up as well. And I'm just keeping this as simple as possible. I'm not really overcomplicating this analysis, at least not in my opinion. You know, where's my point of control? Where are my current ranges at? What does the data tell me? And that's what I want to know. And so the data says, okay, 38,500 is a big level. If I can hold this level or get a bounce here from this golden pocket, POC, daily VWAP, daily pivot, whatever, great. If not, I do have the yearly R2 beneath me, but we've already tapped it 1, 2, 3 times, and a fourth time would make me think that we'd get a break. If we got a break, my next big area of interest is this 34.5 down to $34,000 region, because that is my January point of control and my monthly POC at 33,997.50. So that's what I got for you guys. Obviously, we're looking for upside. If you took some of the longs with us in the group, awesome. Hopefully, you've taken some profits along the way. You don't want to sit there and just sit in those positions. Yeah, so Bitcoin not doing anything that's too concerning to me yet. Now, there was a little bit of concern on the 4-hour. I think we had some bearish divergences, and we are kind of coming down here heavily. You can see that we've got lower highs on the RSI here, particularly. So one of those things, you need to keep an eye on it and see exactly how far down this dip goes. We know what areas we're interested in. For me, first area of interest is going to be in this daily pivot region between, yeah, we'll just call it 38,785 down to 34 or 38. 450-ish, so you know, about a 1% range there that you're operating within with that golden pocket. Anything below that, and then we are looking down about, to me, $2,000 to the 36.5 region. After that, I would be more interested in like the $34,000-ish, give or take, region. It seems like it's front running all the targets these days, so I would be more interested in that region at that time. If we lose $34,000, I would be a little more bearish. I'd be looking down to that 30K region, obviously the bottom of our monthly range that we looked at. We can look at that one more time. It was your January range, right? We were looking at this. I would be a little more bearish. Obviously, losing this would not look good. Don't want to close below it. And you can see that even on like an hourly, we never actually closed below this range. This thing right here formally, you can see that we always got bought up. This was a really nice swing fail pattern. Bought up, reconfirmed, and off we went. So that's what I've got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something. If you guys have any questions about the group, again, it's free. My Discord name is down below. Go ahead and shoot me a message or a friend request. I'll add you to the group. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you guys like this kind of content. You guys want to see how the sausage is made, so to speak, you know, like how we actually find these entries, you know, where we're looking to take profits, things like that. And yeah, look for an altcoin update from me. Obviously, we need to get that out there and take a look at it, since if Bitcoin is moving up or down, altcoins are going to be affected accordingly. So I will cover Ethereum, XRP, a few other altcoins that we took trades on, Algo, here in the next video. All right, later.